Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's me, and today I wanted to do a reading vlog because I have not posted a lot of vlogs this year, so we're going to do that. I just want to bring you guys with me while I read for the whole week. I don't know what's the goal of this vlog. I just wanted to make reading vlogs for you guys. I have not done this since forever, if you guys don't know yet. I'm currently reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and I am so sad about the condition of my book, but it's completely fine. I'm still reading it. Got broken, but it's okay. It's my fault. I am currently reading this. I wish I have created a content about it sooner rather than later, but this is just the time that I am getting more, I would say, passionate again with making vlogs. I was focusing too much on my TikTok account that I forgot that I also have a YouTube account. But here we are, and we're going to read this book. I'm actually like 80% in this book already. I'm already on chapter 31, and I'm on the third task. So, and I just wanted to give you guys a little thoughts about the book or about the whole series. I've already finished the first 3 books in this series this month. Here they are: Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So I have the whole set of this book. It's actually my husband's gift for me for my birthday. And I'm actually getting a little bit burned out reading it. Not because I don't like it, but there's some things that are now really starting to get really slow. However, I genuinely enjoyed it because there's a lot of clarity in these books, because there's a lot of things that was not mentioned in the movie, and we all know that, sometimes movie do change a lot of things to make it shorter, or they're just putting in some things that they believe that the viewers would want it to see more, or they will change some things a little. And reading the books actually helped me answer some of the questions I have, especially with the Marauders map. There's a lot of explanation there that actually really satisfied me, knowing the reason behind it was created and who's the creator behind it and why they created that map and who is it for. And I'm actually really happy that I knew about that, but I'm also sad because of those things I've learned. Those people who made the Marauders map were just they're so sweet and all that stuff. I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just that I'm just so happy that I already know those kind of ideas. And if I have or am if I'm in that same situation, I might do the same thing, and I might also be an unregistered animagus. However, I don't have many friends, and I don't have a friend that transformed into a werewolf. Let's be honest, we're not in a wizarding world for me to be unregistered animagus. So, in the Philippines, it's called aswang. So, I don't have aswang friends. So, come and read with me and read the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I'm almost done with this book. If I'm able to finish it this week, my next read would be All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. Now, a lot of you may not like the author, but I like some of her books because it's really relatable. Go ahead and hate me. I know she's very controversial. By all means, I like her books. I relate to most of her stories, so So I must say that there is this one character, Ludo Bagman, that was not included in the movies, and I think he's kind of important. I don't know, but I'm having some suspicions here that he's a Death Eater, if you know what I mean. But we have to finish the book. But that's just my thoughts. And also another thing I have noticed that Hermione has a very big influence on Harry in winning of all of the tasks in the Goblet of Fire. And I think that was not emphasized in the movie by any chance, or maybe I just have to rewatch it. But if my memory serves me right, it's not there at all. I don't remember Hermione helping Harry so much like in the books. And also, we actually got a more in-depth thing of what happened with Neville's parents that I think the movie failed to inform us. Because before I read the books, I believe Neville's parents are already dead, but in the books, they're actually not. They're actually in a facility for, as Dumbledore's words, insane. So I'm actually shocked that it was not mentioned in the movies. And in all honesty, I think I have read a lot aside from Hermione and Ron. Neville is always with Harry Potter, which is weird because it's not seen so much in the movies. It is true that there's a lot of things that was not mentioned in the movies that are in the books. And I think it's very quite important, but sometimes movies do have their own story to tell. You know, this is such a mystery to me how people really like Draco Malfoy because his attitude is so disgusting. In the books, that's what I mean, but his attitude is so disgusting and it's unbearable. He's insufferable, he's disgusting, he's unbearable, and I don't know why people liked him. I guess the movies is completely different from the books, but the books, Draco Malfoy is just he's disgusting. I hate him. I don't like him. He's racist, he's he's homophobic, he's a narcissist, but he's a coward. So, girl. I love the Weasleys for doing all of these things for Harry Potter. It's like they didn't second guess or they didn't think twice of making feel Harry Potter like their family. It's just so sad. Every time there's this scene where Molly was so motherly towards Harry, I'm actually starting to, have like teary eyes. And that's actually quite happening right now. My heart for Molly. Oh my god, I wouldn't have guessed that riddle. Oh my god! Natanggal na naman siya. There you go. My book broke again. I'm like almost done. That's fine. I mean, as long as it's still readable, I'm still gonna read it. So my camera died a little while ago and I was not able to give you guys an update with the last chapter I read from my book, which now looks like this. If you have not seen the video earlier, it just so happened that it broke apart and that's completely fine. I was supposed to end this vlog or this book today. You see how much I have left? But unfortunately, my camera died, my phone needs to be charged. I have to have dinner, so I think maybe it's time for me to take a rest. So I'd probably finish this tomorrow, right after I drop Apollo off to school. So for now, the only thing that I could say is I'm already on the part where Cedric Diggory and Harry Potter is about to touch the Triwizard Cup. And there's a little bit of a difference in the book than the movies, but I would say they did a pretty good job doing I would say they did a pretty good job representing some of the parts in the movie. However, I wish we're able to see the blast-ended Scroots, the big spider, the Sphinx, if I remember it correctly. I think it would be more fun. If I could remember correctly, the only thing that I was able to remember is that the only thing I could remember with regards to that is Crumb is under a spell. That's why he throw a deadly curse to Cedric or to Harry Potter, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's something that I could really remember because his eyes was white when he throw the Creatus, is that how you say it? Curiatus spell, something similar to that. And I wish they have given us more of the adventure that happened in the maze before Cedric and Harry Potter got into the cup. And also the riddle part in the book before Harry Potter got to the Triwizard Cup is something that I can't solve, in all honesty, and I have to read it again just for me to see if I could figure it out on my own. Unfortunately, it took me a while to solve it on my own. I'm glad Harry Potter got it very fast then. Well, some people work great under pressure, so maybe that's what happened with him. But that's all for this evening. We're going to finish this tomorrow, hopefully, so we could start a new book. Because I wanted to pause with Harry Potter for now. Because I have been reading too much fantasy since this last month and this month. I have read a lot of fantasy and I really need the palate cleanser. And that's why I ended up with Colleen Hoover book. I was actually deciding if I should read a thriller book or if I should read another Anna Huang. But I settled on Colleen Hoover because that's the only book I have on my shelf from her that is unread, and the rest of the books I have from her is already, read already. I also have plans on rereading Verity just because the movie is coming out really soon this year and I wanted to read it first before I watch the movies. If you know, you know. That's all for tonight. We'll go ahead and continue reading tomorrow. And I'm so sad my camera died. I wish I charged it before filming my vlog. But we'll go ahead and continue it tomorrow. Hello everyone, it's the next day and we're going to finish my Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire book. This is how much I have left. Yes, it's still the same book. I just removed it from the cover itself so that I won't be having any issues later on while reading. The goal today is to finish this book before I pick up Apollo. Apollo won't be home until 5 p.m. I'm hoping I could read it before that so we could start my new book. Let's go ahead and start reading. This is the part Cedric died, so it's a bit emotional. It's shocking still, even though I've already watched the movie, because Cedric Diggory's death in the book and in the movie is just so quick. It feels so sad, but at the same time, you're still processing what's happening because that's just how fast it happened. Am I making sense? The sadness comes later on, just like what happened to Harry here when he was staring at Cedric, because it's so quick and it's so fast. So, Wormtail in the movies and in the books is completely different when he was trying to revive Voldemort. In the movies, he's like so willingly to do all of this things for Voldemort, but in this book, it seems like Wormtail was just trying to stay alive. You know, he's just surviving so he could stay alive because he's kind of weak, wobbly, and he stutter all the time when Voldemort is talking to him. In the movie, he's it's just like he's completely different. You know, he's like more willingly to do all those things. But in the book, he's like very hesitant. Oh, still sad. The part where Cedric said, "Take my body back, will you? Take my body back to my parents." It's still sad. Oh my god. It's just so heavy. Imagine all of the trauma Harry Potter has and this responsibility he already have even before he knew something about the world. It's just so crazy and it's so wild because from the beginning of the book you already know that he has this big responsibility that when he gets into the wizarding world, rumors around that Voldemort was still alive and he's just trying to get his power back. Having this kind of responsibility without parents and then seeing a lot of people die for you to succeed, it just also pains me so much. It's a it's so difficult. It's just so sad. It's so heartbreaking. You know, I think he has all of these reasons to go on the dark side as well. But because of the love he has for his parents, even though they're dead, I think that's the reason why he stayed where he is. And then it was added by the love from Hermione, from Ron, from the Weasleys, and from Dumbledore, and from the rest of Hogwarts. That's why he stayed who he is. But in all honesty, he has reasons to be on the dark side as well because it's so difficult to have this kind of responsibility at a very young age. And then you're gonna grow up to this disgusting people who treats you as a crazy different species and bully you and use the tragedy that happened to your parents against you. It's like there's no words to explain on how the Dursleys treat Harry Potter when he didn't do anything to them. It's just, oh, the trauma of Harry Potter. So I'm done with yapping. Let's finish the book because I might cry more and we don't want to cry. Oh my Oh my god, Dumbledore is so wise. The way J.K. Rowling wrote character is just so well written. Look what he said. Understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery. Well, isn't that true? It's just, oh, this is so sad. This is what I'm trying to say earlier. Dumbledore said to Harry, "You have shouldered a grown wizard's burden and found yourself equal to it, and you have now given us all that we have a right to expect." This is just so sad that he has this kind of burden for his age, and to think he's not even 16. I'm on the last chapter, and it's an hour long. I need to do something first before I continue reading this book. It's so I think I'm gonna cry again, so let's pause for now. Prepare some dinner. Prepare ourselves. So we are back and we're going to continue reading. So as per my book Mori, I still have 32 minutes to go before I could finish the book. So I hope we could finish this tonight. It's 8:51, so I should be able to finish this before 10 p.m. It's like a better time after that to, sleep. But my camera is gonna die again. We're gonna keep this camera rolling until it turned off. So Rita Skeeter is unregistered anime guest. That's not in the movie, right? Or I just missed it. You know, whenever George and Fred is mentioned in the books, I already know that it's gonna be funny. They're so chill, they're so relaxed, and it's just so funny. But then, remembering what's gonna happen to Fred, why? Why? Time will not slow down when something unpleasant lies ahead. So we're done. We are done. Let me just highlight some things first. Let's talk about this book. And don't be surprised, I gave this 5 stars. I mean, so here's the things that I really liked. There's actually a lot of things that I really like about the book that was not mentioned in the movie, and that's the reason why maybe they did that so you could read the books, or there's just some things that can't be expressed through words or acting, and it's better to be read than watched, if you know what I mean. So I guess that's what happened here, but this is a very emotional book, I would say. And I have not anticipated that it's gonna be more sad in this book, especially on how Cedric died, how they paid their respects when Cedric died. I don't know. I have a lot of suspicions in this book. And remember when I said that they should have added Ludo Bagman in the book? After reading it, after finishing the book, I think it's okay that they completely left him out, because in all honesty, he's just like part of a mystery in the book, but he's not that important. If you know what I mean. So I think it's completely fine that they removed him video or from the movie. I don't think there's anything I need to say here for me to convince you reading this book, because it's already good, and I know there's already a lot of words about it that people should read the books, because there's a lot of things that was mentioned here that was not mentioned in the movies. But I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. And it's just so emotional. There's a lot of things aside from Cedric Diggory's death. There's also other things that makes me emotional in a way that if you're gonna think about Harry Potter ever since from the first book of this series, even before he was born, Voldemort was trying to kill him. And imagine the trauma he has to relive every day. A lot of sacrifices for him to succeed in defeating Voldemort. But the thing is, he's so young and he's not even a full adult wizard yet. He only knows a few spells, and it's just so sad that he has to carry this burden. Witches and wizards expect him to do the same thing he did before he even knows everything in the world. So it's just so sad. It's so emotional, but I'm still gonna read it. So far, so good. I just need a palate cleanser, and like I told you guys, I will be reading Colleen Hoover's All You're Perfect, and I will read this tomorrow. And I'll bring you guys with me tomorrow on my dentist appointment because I have to get my braces adjusted. That's what's gonna happen. And we're gonna hide this baby and put it on my shelf, and we'll continue reading it soon. So, hello everyone. It's the next day and it's raining. So, it's just so fun because we could read more books. However, I have changed my mind with reading All Her Perfects by Colleen Hoover because it's part of a series. And I don't want to read a book in the middle of the series. It's completely fine if it's the first book, but it's the last book. So, I need to find and prepare another book that I will read, and I want you guys to come with me. So I don't think I was able to update you guys with this one. I got this new bookshelf right here. It's just very slim, but my books, some of the books I've already read fit in there. But here's my other bookshelf, and I don't want to read any fantasy at the moment. I wanted to read something romance. So I have my eye on all the bright places. Now, I just recently got this book. It's a pre-loved book or secondhand, but it's still in a good condition, which I really love. But I'm also eyeing Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami, but I'm still undecisive. But aside from that, I also have my eye on one of 𝗟𝗲𝘁𝘀𝘀 Silver's book. I just don't know which one yet, but I have my eye on that. If ever I decided to get 𝗟𝗲𝘁 Silver, I might read Wild Eyes, but I still can't decide which one should I read. I also wanted to read this one, guys. The Time Traveler's Wife. I recently got this book as well. I don't know what's gonna happen if my TBR or my shelf is going to love me, because I have been reading all of my recent books instead of the old books I have on my shelf. So, yeah, I don't know which one to read just yet. So, let me think about it, and then I'll get back to you guys on which book we're going to read. This is my other kind of shelf. This is where I put in my Harry Potter books and my Anhuang, mostly all of my favorite books. I also have Percy Jackson here as well. This is a second-hand book, so you see this one is torn, but that's completely fine as long as the book is readable. I also have this, the 𝗟𝗃 Serpent, and I bought this because I love the cover. Look at the cover. It looks gorgeous. It has foils in it, but I think it's a fantasy book. And like I said yesterday, I'm going to take a break from reading fantasy because I've been reading too much fantasy lately. So, I have to think first which of these books I would read. So I will get back to you guys in a while, and then we'll prepare my book just in case I'm able to decide which one to read. I also forgot to mention that I have few books in my Kindle that I was not able to read yet, which is in my currently reading section on my Goodreads. I don't think I can read this now, but I have Little Stranger on my Kindle ready by Lay Rivers. Now, I don't know if I'm going to read this just yet, but I've already read 4% of the book, so I'd probably continue this later on when we go to my dentist, because I'm gonna bring Apollo with me later. So while we're waiting for my turn to get my braces adjusted, I'd probably bring this and read it. And of course, you know me, I have my audiobook prepared already. So it's 3:30, and this is the book where I settled. So this is the next book that we're going to read after reading the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire book. But before we read this, I need to get ready to go to the dentist. And I'll bring you guys with me. So we're back home and I am going to edit some of my vlogs from yesterday first before we read some books. But we are home, and if you guys haven't noticed, my braces, the rubbers of my braces are alternating colors of green, neon green, and hot pink. So it's 10:54 p.m. and I haven't touched my book yet. I'm still editing my vlog, but at 11 p.m., we're going to read it because I have to. I haven't read anything yet today, so we're going to read that. I'm just finishing some things in the vlog yesterday, but yes. So this is like the quickest update ever, and I just finished page 6. Now, this started with a guy thinking about this meadow with birds and stuff, and the details of the place. He's in this country, I think he's in Germany, was like so vivid and it's so clear. But when he tries to remember a face of this girl, I forgot the name. Naoko, when he tries to remember her in the scene where they were together, they have this intimate moment together, he just can't recall his face. Or this book is about, so he's writing a book about this girl, Naoko, for him to remember every detail of her and the things that happened to them. I believe so. I'm just on page 6, so still kind of confusing. I still don't know the name of the guy in this book. The only name I know in here is the girl's name. So we'll know more about it tomorrow. But that's just basically what I've read and understand in this book. And I'm so sorry if this is the only update I have for you guys today because I had a very busy day. Well, not really. I just took a nap and then when I woke up, we have to go to the dentist. That's why. Because it's raining. It's so comfy. And I have to sleep. But I'll read more and I'll update you guys tomorrow. 6 p.m. of 1st of July. Happy 1st of July, everyone. And gonna read this later on. I'm just gonna prep dinner. But it was a very busy day. Um, there's a lot of things I did. I felt so tired because I did my rest day for my workout today, and my body was just asking for so much rest. So that's why I don't know. It just feels I still feel tired even after taking a rest, if you know what I mean. And then my head hurts, and then it's currently hot in my country. It's always hot, but the heat here is just completely different. It's very humid, and then it's gonna rain, and then it's gonna be super hot, and it's something that makes people sick, if you know what I mean. So that's our current state at the moment. But I'll read in a while. I just have to do some things first, and then we'll continue reading Norwegian Wood. In all honesty, I'm actually getting curious about the book, even though I would say that the first part for me always in a book is always confusing. My imagination doesn't process right away in the first few pages of the book. But at the end, that's where I'm getting it. And that's where I'm starting to get curious. So that's what happened here last night. So far, it's okay. I can't say anything bad at it at the moment, but we'll see how many pages I could read today. I'm not new with Haruki Murakami's books per se, because I remember my very first book that I read was 1Q84 by him, although I DNF'd it because it's too thick, and I think the book is just, I don't know where it's going. It's taking a while to get through that point. It's just pure mystery. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's just me, but this book, it's confusing. I mean, not really confusing, but there's like this conversation that is quite confusing me, and I have to reread everything just for me to understand, but I still don't get the conversation. I don't know if it's just me or anyone else had that kind of experience. If you have read this book too, please let me know in the comment section. But it's kind of hard to understand. And then there's this girl named Naoko, where when they're having this kind of conversation, she always stops mid sentence. And then she just looks around, and then she's just gonna tell the male character to just never mind it. And every time that Toru said something, I don't know. Their conversation is just really confusing. It's really confusing. Although he has a male roommate in his dorm, their conversation is not really that complicated. But this one, it is kind of complicated. With Naoko, I don't know if it's just me, but to be honest, Toru is also having a hard time understanding his conversation with Naoko. So I think I'm not the only one who's getting confused, but also the male character in this book. And to be fair, I'm just on page 28. So I'm hoping it could get better, because if not, I would change my book. I might DNF it again. I don't know. I have been seeing a lot of good reviews about it, so I really want to give it a chance. If I really can't stand the book, I'd put an end to it. In all honesty, I'd probably look for a different romance book. I just really wanted to read the romance book before getting back into Harry Potter. So, but if I'm able to finish this book, I will watch the movie. I'll try to search for the movie. There's a movie for this already, although it's in Japanese. I don't know. I hope we could watch it after reading the book, if I can finish the book. That's the question of it all. I finished on page 34, chapter 2, and I can't finish chapter 3 tonight because it's already 11:37 p.m. And we have a kid that needs to go to school tomorrow, so we have to sleep. Going back to the book, I just finished this chapter, and this is like the part where Toru is now telling the story of how his best friend died, which is Naoko's boyfriend. So this happened 20 years ago, and it's a suicide kind of situation. It was not mentioned why, which is really sad, because in this part, Toru realized that death has always been part of life. It's not another world or another dimension. It's always with us. It's just a matter of time where it's gonna show up even though you're alive. That makes sense. That's how I understand it. Things has completely changed. I mean, things will always revolve not just with life but also with death. So I think that's actually a very deep thing to think. And Naoko is girlfriend of Toru's best friend. So I don't know why there's this romantic scene, not romantic, but kind of an intimate scene at the very first part of the book. I don't know. So like I said earlier, it's a bit confusing, this book. I don't know if it's just this book, but 1Q84 is not really confusing for me, in all honesty. So I'm not quite sure why this one is a bit confusing. Maybe because it's considered as a classic book, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe that's the reason why it's hard to understand. I think it's because of the timeline, the year it was written and published, and the culture and the things that happened in the book, that maybe I really can't relate, and that makes things confusing. Still continue reading it because I am getting curious of the discoveries that's gonna happen in here. I wanted to know why Toru's best friend killed himself, what's the reason, and all that stuff. And I don't know why do I feel like there's a romantic tension between Naoko and Toru when they're obviously not compatible. to each other. Like I said, their conversation was just so confusing all this time. They don't have this clear topic of conversation since the first page. And I know I'm just page 34. They should have at least a one clear topic of conversation in the first 34 pages, right? But I don't see any of that just yet. And I'm waiting for it to come. Maybe I'll try to give it a chance until I reach page 100. But for now, we'll continue this vlog tomorrow and I'm on page 87, and you're a real bookworm when you try to check how many pages you have left, and you will not believe that this is chapter 4. Now, on the audiobook, it says, I think I have been reading this for more than 30 minutes, and when I looked at the audiobook, it says, I still have 30 minutes left. What do you mean 30 minutes more left? It's wild. And then when I checked how thick the page is, this is just chapter 5. This whole chunk. This chapter 5. I have a bookmark here, so yeah. This is how thick chapter 5 is. Chapter 5. And I don't know where we're going here. I'm on the part where she met a girl named Midori, and they're having this mutual understanding to each other. Midori is just like a very bubbly girl, and she's very nice, very talkative. She's not like Naoko, but I don't know where they're going. She just approached Toru in the middle of his sad life. But he wrote Noko a letter, and he's just waiting for a response. So this is probably him just coping and stuff. But why is it so long? Look, the audiobook. See, I have been reading for 45 minutes, and I still have 29 minutes and 35 seconds left. Just for that chapter? And you know me, I don't like long chapters. So this is wild. I hope we could finish this, and I don't DNF'd it, but it's just wild. So I really do feel sleepy. I have to rest my eyes and continue reading this book tomorrow, and that would be probably our last vlog. I want to finish it until 100. I'm like 2 pages in, but my eyes was just really droopy and I just really wanted to sleep. But before I end this vlog today, so far nothing disturbing and all that stuff. It's just that it's funny how Midori is so talkative with Toru, and she just met Toru. She borrowed Toru's notebook and then she went missing, I think, for a few days, and then when she went back, she asked Toru to have lunch, and then she just started talking about her family. I mean, I kind of see myself with Midori's character because sometimes I'm like that, especially if I could feel this good aura about you or a very comfortable aura about you. I just blurt out everything. With how talkative Midori is like she's already telling the story of her life. And she just met Toru, which is weird. And she invited Toru to her house, like right away, and cooked lunch. Maybe that's Japanese thing, and this is in the 1969, so maybe it's not weird during that time. But for me, it's kind of weird for some reasons. I still don't know where this story is going, but it looks like since Toru feels lonely because Naoko is far away and not really responding to his mails or letters, and Naoko is like in an asylum and she requested Toru to not visit her, he found this solitude with Midori, if that makes sense, right? So I think that's what's happening here, and I don't know what to feel about it. I don't know how long we could last in reading this book. I could sense a little bit of a romance, but in all honesty, all I can sense as of the moment is Midori and Toru is just comfortable with each other, and I don't sense anything romantic just yet. But girl, Midori is so talkative. I mean, I am talkative, but she's too much. She even told a story about her damn bra. Weird. Mr. Haruki Murakami. That's weird. Why would you say that? And the way Toru described Midori's hips is just wild. Why would you describe a woman's hip like that? Girl, moving on. It's okay. It's okay, I would say. So we'll continue reading this tomorrow. Hopefully we could read at least 150 so that I don't know. This is probably tomorrow might be probably my last vlog for this week, and we'll continue reading this on my next vlog. Probably give you an update tomorrow of what I felt about the first book before I read this and how I feel about this book so far. I finished page 120, chapter 5. I'll be reading this probably the whole week because chapter 6 is 2 hours long. I don't know what you have to say in this chapter, but it's 2 hours long. And I don't think I could do it now and add it to the vlog. So we will continue reading this book in my next vlog. But I also, guys, before we move on, I wanted to show you how thick this chapter is, which is wild because I've already checked this earlier. And I was like, so what the? See, I've taken forever because it's thick. It's a very thick chapter. For some reasons, I don't know the things you have to say in that one chapter or what happened in that chapter for it to be that thick and for that long. Okay. So here's chapter 6, and this is the whole chapter. You see that? That's chapter 6. See? What is this? What are the things that is going to happen? And what are you going to say? I don't know. It's just, I don't like long chapters, especially 2 hours long. Hopefully we could survive this book. I wish I could read at least half of it tomorrow. I don't know. It's too long. Well, anyways, for this vlog, I've read 2 books this week, which is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I have already gave you guys a quick review previously, but I gave that 5 star and I highly recommend it. It's very emotional than the rest of the books, and I would say that it's more emotional than the movie as well. There are parts there that already made me cry. My heart for Harry, because I don't know, the responsibility that he's carrying at a very young age is just so heavy. And he's just 14. So I don't know what's gonna happen with, the rest of the books. I'm actually excited, but I need to take a rest from the series because I have been reading a lot of fantasy books. So yeah. But this book, so far, it's okay. Can't say much anything about it, but the only comment I could give right now for the last chapter I read is I know Naoko is depressed because of what happened with Kizuki. I just don't understand why she has to call her depression deformity. And why does it feels like she's describing herself as a broken person that can find that I don't know, it's sorry, I was just so annoyed with it, but she's depressed and she thinks that she's deformed because of that. And she keeps on repeating this word that she needs to adapt to her deformities and she needs to talk to outside people which are normal people. Girl, what do you mean? Just because you're deformed, you can. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just that I'm so pissed about it because that's just what I am thinking right now, and there's no enough words to describe that. But I just really hate how Haruki Murakami described depression. If I'm right, But this is my thoughts about the book. I just hate how she says that she's deformed. What the hell was that? Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but so that's all for today's weekly vlog, and I have read two books, although I haven't finished this just yet, which I'll be including it on my next vlog, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please do subscribe. I do actually have a lot more videos similar than this, and I'm talking about other books. Although this is just like my third or fourth reading vlog for this year, but more reading vlogs are coming, and stay tuned for that. So comment on the comment section what's your current read. And if you have read any of this book, please let me know your thoughts about it, and please don't give me spoilers. Just let me know what you think about it. That's all. Bye!